Hey everybody, this is assignment 3-2. For people in my class, once you finish this one, you'll be halfway done with the semester. So you may be sitting there thinking, I wish I were in Zuataneo right now, but we're making progress. This assignment asks you to make a walking map of the city of Pittsburgh. So we're back to the city of bridges here. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to have two different maps displayed, which you now know how to do. Except we're going to have one large one and one small one. Here is the checklist for assignment 3-2. What we're going to do is we're going to have a map of the central business district at a specified scale. We're going to have a single historic district as an inset map. We're going to have lines connecting those. We're going to have a photo of a historic building. We're going to have the source of the photo listed. We're going to have to go find that photo ourselves. We're going to draw a line between the building on the map and the photo. We're going to make sure the historic sites layer is transparent so we can see the buildings underneath it. We're going to have the streets labeled in the inset map, the historical points labeled in the inset map, and the historic areas labeled in both maps. I hate that Excel doesn't have spell checker built in. Alright. We got a whole bunch of layers to add here. We want to go to the Pittsburgh / Central Business District GDB, and we want to add the CBD outline, and then hold down Control and select CBD building, CBD streets, historical sites, and historical points. Alright, and we can add all of those all at once. Okay, there are 5 layers. You see this is downtown Pittsburgh, shaped like a triangle. They call this area the Golden Triangle. It's surrounded by rivers on both sides. And this is the confluence of the Allegheny River comes in here. The Monongahela River comes in here, and they form the Ohio River going outward. Now notice, I once saw John Madden on a telestrator draw it in, so from a blimp shot, he said the Ohio River is going this direction, the Allegheny is going this direction, he said the Ohio is going this direction, which is correct. The Allegheny is going this direction, incorrect. The Monongahela is going this direction, also incorrect. Meaning that right here there would have to be some sort of magical spring or something making all the water flow away from them. So, yeah, don't listen to John Madden. That's not what a confluence is. A confluence just means that the two rivers merge and form a third river there. Anyway, back to the assignment here. Now, let's see. So, I'm going to do the same thing. You can do it multiple ways. You could go and create another data frame, add these layers again. I'm going to change the layers the way that I want them to, and then I'm going to copy them into a new data frame. So I'm going to change all these names here. If you click once on them, click on them again. So historic points. I'm just going to name this streets. I'm just name this CBD. And we're not going to include that in the legend. So you'll see I told you that this time we'd be messing around with the legend in ways that we didn't last time. Buildings. Okay, so the Central Business District, we want to be able to see through this layer to see the buildings and the historical sites, which we can't see. Notice you don't see anything on the map that's green or blue. Well, you see a couple green things peeking out right here. So we want to be able to see through that layer. So we're just going to double click. Actually, we can just single click on that and click hollow. Make it a little bit wider outline width if we want. Okay, now we got all these buildings and historic sites underneath there. And you know what? Even though this file was named historic sites, it's actually historic districts. Okay, now you notice that the historic districts encompass multiple buildings, so what we actually want is we want the districts to be above the buildings. Except that now we can't see the buildings underneath, so we don't know what's going on under these things. So it looks like someone just put a tarp over all the buildings. The way that we fix that is we make this transparent. So if you double click on this, go into display, and then list transparent right here. So usually I just start at 50% and then I can go up or down depending on what I want to do. Alright, so now we can see the buildings beneath there, but we can also see the outline of the historic district. So you can change your color scheme here. I usually use a lighter color for this and a darker color for this. I don't know, we can kind of get the point here. I think last year I made this blue and this one yellowish. The streets, I'm going to click once on this. I'm going to go to arterial street. That seems like an appropriate color for it. The historic points are, I don't know, they're not too bad. You can kind of see them. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger though. Because you're going to see we're going to end up with, I'm going to double the size of them. Now we can really see them. I don't really like the circle though, actually. Not sure that I want stars though. If we go with this, some squares. Oh, forgot to change the color back. Let's go to I like this dark red here. That stands out. Okay. Anything else look off about this map here? Alright, I think we can see everything pretty easily on here now. Everything seems pretty clear to me. So now what we want to do is we want to copy this whole data frame. Same thing as here, right click and then copy, and then edit, and paste. And so now you can rename this one Pittsburgh or CBD. Actually, we should probably, that's not the whole city of Pittsburgh, that's just downtown, the Central Business District. Alright, so the assignment asks you to pick one of the historic districts and make an inset map of that. So it suggests doing Market Square as the it does call it historic sites in the book. Maybe I just wrote down district somewhere. Well, either way, it suggests the historic site picking Market Square. So I'm going to do Market Square. You can choose a different one if you want. So I'll do Market Square here. So historic sites. Let's go just historic sites. Oops. That's what happens when you double click on this. Click once, pause, click again. Okay. See, now because I'd already copied it, I have to go back and change it twice, whereas if I'd fixed it the right way the first time, I wouldn't have to change it twice after I copy it. I would just have to change it once the first time. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to start making this second one look different from this first one. So the second one, when we have the map, this one's going to be an inset map that's going to be smaller, it's going to be zoomed in, we're going to be able to see a lot less. So let's turn on the labels for historic points. So now it's showing all these things. Let's turn on the labels for streets, label features, and what else we want to label here? Historic sites labels. Okay, so we can see Market Square right here that we already found. And we can see the Burke building right here. But if you didn't see those somewhere, a good way to find them, if you want to see where the Burke building is, would be to right-click on historic points, go to the attribute table, and find the Burke building right here, and now make this selected. And now there it is, it's easily visible. Or you could even do in the attribute table, well here, let's clear that one. A good thing to do here would be, we want to find the historic site, the market square. So go to the attribute table, where's market square right here. Okay, and so now when we highlight it, we can right click right here and do zoom to. And now, boom, it's zoomed to market square. And we can unselect that so there's not a blue border around it. Now for our second map, we're already zoomed in on market square here. And I said I wanted to label the historic sites or districts in this map too. I forgot to do that before I copied the map. Alright, so I think now we want to go into the layout view here. So print form. So you can see all my selections are here from the last time. If you just click on that and then drag it away, they'll all go away. Okay. So we're going to make that one smaller. What the heck? Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure I did that. Okay, so we're going to want this one at the bottom, and we're going to want this one at the top. So this one we're going to want to be as big as we possibly can make it. And this one we're going to want smaller. This is the inset map. So in terms of how big we want it, so normally we would sit here and we would make these different sizes until we think that it's a good size so that we can see everything we need. In the assignment, it tells us to make a certain zoom level. So we can make that zoom level and we'll fit the box to that zoom level instead of the other way around. So this is supposed to be 1 to 14,000. So you see we're pretty close to that already. 1 to 14,000. This is supposed to be 1 to 2,400. 2,400. Okay. These big enough to... I'm going to make this just a tad bit bigger. Alright, that looks pretty good. No, let me go all the way to this line. Why not? And actually, let's move this. So if you go back and select this hand tool, then you can move this around within the box, just like you can in a normal view. Make it nice and centered. Okay. And then you go back and get this so we can drag it around here. So we're going to have this be an inset map here. So we can even cover up part of the map. You can do that however you think it looks best. Let's get this hand tool again here. I think this turned out all right. We can see the whole Market Square Historic District, I think, on here. Okay, let's not forget to do the title. So we can drag that up here. Alright, now we need to find a picture of one of the historic points. So they suggest the Burke building, since we're looking at Market Square. They also give you a website. I'm not going to, well, we can if we want. Let's go ahead. So they talk about the, what's it called here? The walking map. Walking tours, Pittsburgh. Here. So this is the website they tell you to go to. and then they tell you to click on City Legacies and get one of the building images. Well, you notice that this site's not working so well anymore. So maybe the new mayor needs to figure out how to make the site work again. In the meantime, let's go back to Google, and we can do an image search for Burke Building, Pittsburgh. And there we go right there. That's a pretty good looking image. So we could just take it right from Wikipedia. Or actually a better way to do this would be to go to the images here. And now you can select one of these images. So if we click on this, now we can right click on the image, save image as. And we want to go into our Esri Press JST1, my assignments, chapter 3. So you see I already downloaded this image last year. So you would just hit save. I'm not going to bother doing that again. I already have, I think it's the exact same picture. Alright, so cancel. Now we need to insert that picture. Same thing as in Word, insert picture. And I'm already in chapter 3 of that file from before. Burke Building, insert. Actually went to a pretty good scale already. Okay. Now, we need to draw some lines. So where do you think you would go to draw lines? You might think you would go to insert line. There's no such thing in here. I'm not sure that any of these other menus would be tempting to click on. And then you see this drawing right here. So you might think, oh, I should click on this arrow. And now we'll just go to line. And you notice nothing here that does line. So now you're like, well, this thing's grayed out, this thing's grayed out, this thing's grayed out. This is a square or a rectangle. I don't want a rectangle. But if you click on this little arrow next to the rectangle, this will bring up a menu of different shapes and things that you can draw. So you can draw all these different things, including a line right here. So click on line, and now you have a line drawing tool. So one thing you want to do is you want to draw a line from the Burke Building in the map to the picture of the Burke Building, so that people know what it is. So I'm going to go right here. Alright, so to end the line, you have to double click. So I'll show you what happens if I always want to single click, and then you just keep drawing lines, and it's really annoying. So you got to double click to end it. So if you do what I did, and you end up with a line that's zigzagging all over the page, just before you click again, hit the delete button, and it'll delete everything you just did. Now, you think you can just start drawing again, but when you click, no line starts going. That's because you no longer have the line thing selected. You got to go back and reselect line here. Oh, wait, let's click off this first. Okay, line, Burke Building, put that right there, and right there, double click, and we can click away, and there we go, Burke Building. The other thing we have to do is we need to label it, Burke Building. So new text. And we can draw a box here. Whoa. Well, that was a lot smaller than I meant to make it. So if we go and we double click on this box here, we can make it a larger font size. Or we have to click here, size. There we go. Okay, now we can. Okay, you can play around with that, make that look a little bit nicer than how I did it. Is Wikipedia where I got that from? Yeah, Wikipedia. Okay, and then we also want to do lines to show where we got this market square, where on the map this is coming from. So this is hard to see, so you're probably going to want to zoom in on the map here. And now we can see here's Market Square. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 lines from either corner. So starting here to the same point on the map here, double click, and then go back, and we're going to draw another line from, let's do this corner to here, and double click. Okay. And that looks a little bit funny that these are so cockeyed. Maybe this should be over here more somewhere. But I'm going to leave that as is for now. Alright, so we can go back to this view so we can see the whole page. Okay, I think that's everything. Why don't we find the checklist and then we'll see. Alright, Central Business District map at 1 to 14,000 scale. So this is a Central Business District map, 1 to 14,000. Check. Single Historic District, so we decided this is actually a historic site, not historic district. At 1 to 2,400. So this is a single historic site, this is Market Square, 1 to 2,400. X, lines from historic site to inset map, so corner and corner, that's 2 lines. Check. Inset photo of historic building. So, yep, we have the Burke building right here. Check. Source of inset photo listed. So we got source Wikipedia. Check. Line from building to inset photo. So from the building on the map to the inset photo, we got a line. Check. Historic sites layer is transparent. So this layer is transparent so that we can see through it. Not all the way transparent. We still want to have some shading so that we can see the historic sites or districts or whatever the heck we're calling them. But so we don't want a hollow fill. We just want the color that we made transparent. So check. Streets labeled in inset map. So the inset map, yeah, we can see that we have some streets labeled here. Check. Historical points. Yeah, historic points. So historic points labeled in inset map. So yeah, so Market Square and these other things we got labeled, so check. Historic areas. Areas. Boy, how many different words did I use for this layer here? Areas, sites. What was this file even called at the start? It was called historical sites. Alright, so let's stick with historic sites here then. Historic sites. Okay, historic sites labeled in both maps. So we can see that historic point. Oh, so wait, hold on, let me go back here. Historic points, these are the red squares, so the 4th Avenue building, the Burke building, etc. We don't want to label those in the big map because this will just be one wall of text. But in the small map, we're going to label that. And then the historic sites, these are the districts or areas or whatever. So Market Square is a historic site, and that is labeled in both maps. We can see that Market Square is labeled. So check, and there we go. Once again, I got 100% on the assignment. Hopefully you did too. This is Corey Bungee Bauer signing off. Hope you have a wonderful day.